Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the seventh lecture of Rest in Belief. Up to lecture 6, we moved past the limitations of Larkin, Schofield, and the mid-Acts camp, and finally stood before the great boundary line of Acts 28, discovered by E.W. Bullinger. And we proclaimed the final puzzle piece that Bullinger left unsolved, the identity of Samaria. Now, starting today in this three-part series, we are going to erect the massive historical framework of that Samaritan doctrine. To unlock the contradictions of the entire New Testament and understand how the dispensations transitioned, we must grasp a single perfect blueprint. It is the final testament left by Jesus just before his ascension, and the hidden key that opens the New Testament, Acts 1:8. Please look at the verse on the screen. It is a verse so famous that almost every Christian has it memorized. But ye shall receive power. After that, the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth. Most believers and theologians understand this verse merely as a geographical expansion of gospel preaching, a map showing the direction of missions. They use it merely as a slogan for church growth. Start in Jerusalem and stretch out to the world. However, everyone, this verse is not speaking of mere geographical expansion. It is the perfect timeline and the blueprint itself of God's dispensation, transitioning from Jerusalem, the territory of strict law, to the uttermost part of the earth, the territory of perfect grace. Think about it logically. Right after Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection, the apostles in Jerusalem still kept the law, sought signs, and intensely longed only for a national restoration centered on the Jews. Yet what is the dispensation of God's final planned destination, the uttermost part of the earth? It was the pure Gentile church, entirely devoid of the law, requiring no signs or miracles, and saved exclusively by sheer grace without any Jewish distinction. The law and grace, the Jew and the Gentile. These two dispensations are like water and oil, a massive theological canyon impossible to cross by human effort. What if God had suddenly said on the day of Pentecost, "All right, as of today, the law is finished. The Gentiles and you are exactly the same." The apostles, who were Jews to their very marrow, would have fallen into a massive panic. God has never worked in such a disorderly manner throughout history. Therefore, to buffer the collision of these colossal doctrines and transition into the next age, God absolutely had to design a stepping stone right in the middle of this history. The stepping stone that possesses this absolute necessity is none other than Samaria. Historically, what kind of people were the Samaritans? They were neither pure Jews nor complete Gentiles. They were half-bloods of mixed lineage. Spiritually, it is exactly the same. In the timeline of Acts, Samaria symbolizes the mixed transitional period itself, neither a pure Jewish church nor a perfect Gentile church. Before moving from Jerusalem to the uttermost part of the earth, God set a perfect timetable demanding passage through this Samaritan transitional period, where the remnants of the law and the gospel of grace violently collided and mixed together like molten lava. Now take this master key of Acts 1:8 and slice open the entire structure of the book of Acts. It aligns with chilling perfection, first in Jerusalem and in all Judea. This is Acts chapters 1 through 12. Centered around Peter, it is the strictly closed Jewish age where the gospel of the kingdom was preached exclusively to the Jews. Second, Samaria. This is Acts chapters 13 through 28. The apostle to the Gentiles, Paul, begins his missionary journeys, but it is still an age dominated by the order of to the Jew first. It is the Samaritan transitional period where the remnants of the law and miracles boiled and mixed with grace. And third, unto the uttermost part of the earth. This is the age following Acts 28:28. After the Jewish filter was completely discarded and Israel exited the stage, the pure Gentile church, saved solely by absolute grace, finally revealed its form from within the mystery kept secret since before the foundation of the world. Acts 1:8 is not a simple missionary map. It is the majestic dispensational clock designed by God himself, demonstrating how the Jewish law is perfected into the absolute grace of the Gentiles. Then did God spontaneously create the blueprint for these three ages only when he got to the book of Acts? Absolutely not. The framework of this majestic Samaritan doctrine was, amazingly, already foreshadowed with chilling perfection within the arrangement order of the Synoptic Gospels and in the very bloodlines of their authors. In our next session, Lecture 8, we will expose the secret hidden in the sequence of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and the shocking truth entwined in the bloodline of John Mark, who recorded the Gospel of Mark, the text of the most turbulent and dynamic transitional period. Do not miss the next lecture, where you will feel a thrill before the meticulous structure of the Bible. Until now, this has been Rest in Belief. Thank you.